Quite a rout going on here. What seems to be at the heart of it, Esther, is that you suggesting that this could, in a fashion, what we see as regards smokers, pensioners and others, end in the terms of the Holocaust. Is that the point you were trying to get across? Good morning.
Oh, hi there. Morning, Nick. No, absolutely not. Yes, I quoted a poem which was about the Holocaust. Why? Because it conveys a very powerful, wider parable about the importance of standing up for other people's freedoms. And it was in that context I used it. So nobody is suggesting the banning of smoking outside pubs equated to what happened to the Jews in the hands of the Nazis. But it is an analogy that those who restrict freedoms start with what they see is an easier target, and then they expand their reach. So no offence was intended. It was about what I would say is a very powerful parable. And I have to tell you, this new socialist government should be sending shudders down people's spines, what they are doing.
But the poem known as First They Came, it does end with the extinction of the Jews.
And it is about, as we were taught, and I was taught in school and other people, it is a much more powerful parable than that, about how people can remove freedoms one by one. You might not agree with this. And what we are seeing from this socialist government, let's be honest, they've come in on a mandate, they weren't brought in on a mandate. First of all, now they're imposing laws that they never had a mandate for, and now they're beginning to remove freedoms. So they've started off removing from nearly 10 million pensioners their winter fuel allowance. No mandate for that. They're now looking at, as I said, removing freedom, starting with smoking there. They're also taking planning permission changes, confiscation of people's land. And then what you see him trying to do now is like removing pictures. That's like removal of history. I'm afraid this is not a Labour government. This is a very extreme socialist government. And really, Keir Starmer should be doing more important things than taking away people's freedoms.
I get what you're saying. I really do, Esther. But you can't honestly say that the way they're treating pensioners is how they treated communists, or the way they're treating smokers.
No. You're falling into the same trap, Nick.
But that's how the poem spans out, Esther.
No. This is about a parable. This is a parable, and it's about how people can slowly, incrementally remove freedoms. It's known as an analogy. And that's what it was. So no offence was intended. None was intent, and I certainly would never have meant that. But what I do want people to wake up to, and I mean this very, very seriously, is this socialist government we've got. So they're now saying there's a £22 billion hole so they can inflict high taxes and confiscate people's land. That's where they're going. So they've made all manner of changes, the cronyism that they're appointing people into what should be a non-biased, impartial civil service. I think people need to start waking up to Starmer.
I've known you for a long time. I know you wouldn't knowingly cause offence to any group or any people. You have here, accidentally. If you had your time over, would you have quoted this poem?
I have said, and I put out on a tweet, I won't be removing this tweet. I was brought up that this was a very powerful... No, and I apologise if I have made it caused any upset.
But why would you knowingly cause offence?
I never intended that.
But why would you knowingly... Esther, that's my point. Knowing that you have, and I say again, I've known you forever, knowing that you have caused offence... By the way, I don't hold with it being repugnant. I think that's an overstretching of the case. Would you put it out again knowing you'd cause offence?
I'd never knowingly want to cause offence, but I tell you what I won't be doing, Nick. This is a very, very powerful parable. And if I can't talk about a very powerful parable about removing freedoms, I think we need to be very, very careful about freedom of speech.
All right. Final point. You mentioned the winter fuel payment. You served as Work and Pensions Secretary. Because of what seems to be considerable and growing resistance to the proposed plans, would you ever see a U-turn from the Labour government?
Well, I hope so. And I was working with the Express, and I've been working with my local papers and working with local charities, because this does now need to be reversed. I mean, it's a major, major faux pas. And this is from a government that was challenging the Conservative Party about what they were going to do. So nobody in a million years would have thought, having challenged the Conservative Party about this, so we brought in the Triple Lock Plus, that they would then remove it. I tell you, this, mark my words, this socialist government have started off on a wrong track, and really it is beyond words. It's not Labour, this is socialist in extremis.